What's up? I'm Jason Langley, guitarist and vocalist for Bacon Weave Shurikens, and this is called Jason's Pissed. So today's little episodic clip, I'm going to be talking about the Tunnel Visioned Obscurity Fans. Probably a catchier name, and if I come up with one, I'll probably change it. But as of right now, it's Tunnel Visioned Obscurity Fans. These are the kinds of people who think that their music is unknown to the public. These are the kinds of people who act like their bands are still local, underground, and they see themselves more as a cult follower. And while the bands may not be as successful as, like, Iron Maiden, Metallica, or Slayer, they're still pretty fucking big. Examples of names you'll hear from one of these fucking idiots includes Typo Negative, Bolt Thrower, Stormtroopers of Death, Acid Bath, Biohazard, Mr. Bungle. What's even fucking worse is if you genuinely haven't heard of these bands. Because then, all of a fucking sudden, you fall into the state of purgatory where the person will then spend the rest of your patience and their attention span attacking you with a song from a band. For at most a minute. And after that minute, they'll swap it to a different song and then tag it with, "This is their best song ever." And they'll just continue this cycle of changing the song after about 30 to 60 seconds. And you never actually get to hear, like, the title of the song. They don't do name drops of the titles. They just play through little clips. And they cram this entire discography of music from this artist into a 10-minute clip show. And all that does is it makes you not care for the band, and it makes them look like a pretentious asshole. There's a difference between being passionate about your music and wanting to share it with others and being a complete jackass about it. That's the category of people who will hear someone else say they like the band, and all of a sudden it's like, holy fuck, how do you know who Typo Negative is? God damn it. There's never a conversation with these guys either. The depth of their conversation will consist of them trying to wrap their little feeble minds around the concept that someone, for example, who listens to a band like Faith No More knows who Mr. Bungle is. How do you know who Mr. Bungle is? The singer was the frontman for both of them. Hell, in Faith No More's song music video Epic, you can see the dude wearing a fucking Mr. Bungle shirt. I'll even openly admit that I was one of these types of jackasses before I realized the bands I thought were small were actually pretty decently big. For example, Stormtroopers of Death. God, I love Stormtroopers of Death. I thought I was the coolest, most original motherfucker to ever grace my fucking high school. And then I did some basic first result on Google research, and I learned that the whole fucking band is 75% Anthrax with another guy from a different band. It was the fucking Soul Calibur 2 of bands, with the only exception being Billy Milano instead of Hellspawn. Of course, anyone who followed Anthrax knew this. And Anthrax is one of the big four. Remember this. Or for example, with Typo Negative, I thought they were tiny. I thought their little group was a cult. I didn't think anybody knew who they were. And then it took me four long, cringy years of jackassery before I heard Typo Negative as the main theme for I Know What You Did Last Summer. What you did last summer, I still know, and I'll always remember. I'll always know? Now, clock back a little. Remember when I said Big Four? And Anthrax is one of the Big Four. Well, I've met too many fucking people who think that the Big Four is this answer to, like, this old, archaic, ancient riddle. And these idiots will say something like, "Hey, have you ever heard of the Big Four?" Well, actually, yeah, I have. It's Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, and Metallica. That's right. I'm so impressed. I thought I was the only one in high school who knew about metal music. Now look, you can introduce new bands and music. That's absolutely fine. Just keep in mind that there's a fuck ton of people and an ass load of bands, which means there's a really good fucking chance that the band that you think has never been heard before has more than likely been heard before. Unless you're a band who's been keeping quiet and haven't let anybody hear your music, it's almost guaranteed that there's people who have heard your music. And it's guaranteed that you're not as small as you think. On the other side of this coin, yes, I will admit that there are some bands that aren't big and never got big, like Acid Bath. Highly recommended if you enjoy thrash blues and a sludge metal kind of mixed band. Pretty good. my own personal opinion. There's also bands that never got a chance to get big, like Pentagram. But just because a band is small doesn't mean you need to be an album-thumping hipster who absolutely has to spread the word of Biohazard to everyone. Yes, by all means, show your friends, introduce them to bands you like. Absolutely, show them a song or two. Just don't lose your shit because your band happens to be bigger than you thought. And don't cram the entire band's discography into a 10-minute session. It's called baby steps. Whew.